Hi there, my name is Ali Dean and I'm the Owner-Director of ADEX Educational Consultancy Services, a professional learning provider for teachers of languages, and I'm based in Sydney. Since launching the UI and EPI event a few weeks ago, I've had a number of requests on social media seeking some more detailed information about the event. Specifically, people are interested in who it's for and how it has come about. So I thought it might be quickest to put together this little presentation containing an overview of the event and what we're trying to achieve at a broader level. In keeping with my love for acronyms, I've called this particular presentation Putting the C in CPD, a title which I think captures the essence of this project, namely, developing opportunities for ongoing professional learning for teachers who are already familiar with Gian's extensive processing instruction, or EPI, approach. The idea for the project came from discussions I've had with teachers who've been at various stages on their EPI journey. Having attended one or more of Gian's PL events, they were all in on the theory and the rationale of the approach, but they were lacking a bit of clarity and confidence in their day-to-day teaching of EPI. Common questions have included, how do you know when to move to the next stage of MARSEARS? Can you break down the steps of running LAM and RAM activities? What should I be doing to wean my students off their sentence builders? How do I run an insert Conti activity? I was struck by the specific practical nature of these questions and how grounded they were in day-to-day teaching. These questions were coming mainly from highly experienced teachers who, having attended one or more of Gian's PL events, were convinced of the efficacy of the approach, but they were very intent on getting it right. The questions were quite specific, and the teachers were really only after brief clarifications. They understood the theory and the rationale behind the approach, but we're now concerned with the finer, more practical details of integrating EPI into their teaching. Having completed the EPI courses myself, I know how challenging it can be to find the time to fully digest all the information that are presented during the courses, particularly when you're teaching full-time. So with this in mind, I got in touch with Gian to canvass his thoughts on how we might meet the continual professional development needs of this group of existing EPI teachers. As any participant of Gian's PL events will attest, his dedication to the correct interpretation of his EPI approach is unwavering, and he was really keen to assist in any way he could. And so the foundations for this project were laid. So my idea is to create an online, on-demand course intended for teachers who are already versed in the EPI approach. With a working title of MARSEARS Lite, the course will essentially provide a step-by-step refresher of the teaching strategies and resources recommended by Gian at each stage of the sequence. These would include, but not be limited to, a breakdown of the classroom activities typically associated with each stage. So think ghost reading or no snakes, no ladders, 432, etc., including how to run them in class. An explanation of how to use the Conti sentence builder books and the Language Gym website for that matter for their intended purposes. Recommendations for digital platforms, which ones, when, and how long to use them. Specific ideas for how to assess student readiness to move through the stages, as well as considerations for summative assessment tasks along the way. Those familiar with Gian's work will know that the answers to these questions already exist in his many blog posts and YouTube clips from over the years. These posts and clips provide comprehensive overviews of every aspect of EPI, and they're well worth exploring if you have the time. For those who don't, the intention of MARSEARS Lite is to distill the essentials and bring together all the need-to-knows in a concise, on-demand format, which will allow teachers to access it at a time and pace of their choosing. Anyway, having kicked some ideas around, we decided it would be best to first gauge the demand for such a course before jumping into the actual course design. And so the idea for the Q&A event arose. Gian has a crazy schedule at the best of times, and he could identify only a small window in which to run the event. With this in mind, we settled on an informal, online, 2-hour Q&A session on Saturday, April 5th that will hopefully provide us with the type of feedback and data we're after to construct the new course. So far, the response has been terrific, and there's been some really insightful questions registered by the participants. As predicted, the questions are mainly pedagogy related and are quite specific in nature, although that said, the majority of teachers who have signed up seem keen to simply tune in to the discussion on the night, and that's totally fine too. Either way, the idea is to provide an open, relaxed forum for teachers to ask Gian whatever they like. There'll be no such thing as a stupid question on the night, and we're hoping everyone will feel okay to ask what's on their minds and to enjoy getting to know their fellow EPI educators from around the world. That's it for now. A registration link for the Evening with Dr Conti event is on the screen, and it can also be found on the event flyer, which is linked in the comments below. If you're not able to join us on the night, but you like the sound of the MARSEARS Lite course that I've outlined here, please feel free to drop a message in the comments below or on the pinned post on the ADEX Facebook page. Thanks so much for your time and your support. I hope to see you on April 5th.